So, I read Caitlyn's book.
Stop.
Yeah.
And?
She has her thoughts, and you have your.
In a shocking twist that has fans and media outlets buzzing, Kris Jenner, momager extraordinaire and matriarch of the Kardashian-Jenner empire, has finally broken her silence and revealed the real reason behind her recent and unexpected breakup with longtime partner Corey Gamble. After nearly a decade of dating and appearing nearly inseparable at red carpet events, family functions, and on every season of the Kardashians, many believed Kris and Corey were in it for the long haul. So when whispers of a breakup began to circulate, most people dismissed them as just tabloid noise until now. In an emotional and surprisingly candid moment during the filming of the upcoming season of The Kardashians, Kris reportedly sat down with her daughters and dropped a bombshell about why she and Corey had quietly parted ways. According to multiple sources close to the family, Kris admitted that the relationship had changed drastically over the last year, and that although there was still love between them, she had begun to feel a deep internal conflict between her public persona and her personal happiness. One of the biggest revelations was that Corey, who had always seemed comfortable playing the quiet, supportive role, had allegedly become more controlling behind closed doors. Kris apparently shared that he had started to become more involved in decisions related to her business and family, sometimes even clashing with her children over how things should be handled. What began as subtle disagreements reportedly evolved into more frequent arguments, particularly around filming schedules, family privacy, and how much influence Corey was exerting over Kris's personal and professional life. Another layer to this story is that, according to Kris, she had started questioning whether she wanted to get married again. For years, fans speculated about whether Kris and Corey would ever tie the knot, especially as they passed major relationship milestones. But insiders now reveal that Kris had quietly told her inner circle that she was feeling increasingly uneasy about the idea of a long-term legal commitment, particularly after having been through 2 divorces, one from Robert Kardashian and the other from Caitlyn Jenner. While Corey reportedly pushed for marriage and a more defined role in her empire, Kris felt that tying herself down again wasn't something she could see herself doing. In her own words, she allegedly said, "I've built too much, I've sacrificed too much, and I need to protect what I've created, for myself and for my kids." That statement alone caused a ripple in the Kardashian household. Sources claim that some of Kris's children, especially Kim and Khloé, had been growing more skeptical of Corey's influence for a while, but had kept their opinions to themselves out of respect for their mom. However, with Kris now acknowledging those tensions and confirming that she was no longer feeling fulfilled in the relationship, the family has reportedly rallied around her, supporting her decision to walk away. Of course, the news exploded the moment it leaked, sending fans into a frenzy on social media. Twitter and TikTok were immediately flooded with reaction videos, conspiracy theories, and breakdowns of Corey's past behavior that might have hinted at cracks in the foundation. Some fans dug up old clips from the show where Corey clashed with Kourtney and Scott Disick, pointing out that his temper and tendency to speak authoritatively were red flags all along. Others expressed shock and heartbreak, saying they admired how Kris and Corey had managed to keep their relationship relatively low drama compared to other Kardashian romances. While no official statement has been released yet by either Kris or Corey, Kris's recent comments have made one thing clear: this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision, but rather the result of months of introspection and private conversations. In fact, sources say that the breakup actually happened several weeks ago but was kept under wraps so that Kris could process the situation without media scrutiny. She allegedly said she needed time to grieve the relationship privately before facing the inevitable public attention. As for Corey, he's been noticeably absent from recent Kardashian family events and has gone silent on social media, further fueling speculation that the split is real and final, as the dust begins to settle from Kris Jenner's bombshell revelation about her breakup with Corey Gamble. The Kardashian-Jenner household is adjusting to a new normal, one without the man who had quietly been part of the family for nearly a decade. In the aftermath of Kris's emotional confession about the controlling nature of the relationship and her resistance to long-term legal commitment, fans and insiders alike have been watching closely to see how this split is affecting the family dynamic, and it appears the ripple effects are already being felt. According to sources close to the family, there's a sense of quiet relief among some of Kris's children, particularly Kim and Kourtney, who had reportedly grown wary of Kourtney's presence in recent years. While they respected their mother's decision to stay with him, they often kept him at arm's length and weren't shy about expressing concern over some of his behavior, especially moments where he clashed with Scott Disick or made what some saw as inappropriate comments during family discussions. Now that Kris has taken a firm step away, those tensions have reportedly eased, and the family is focusing on supporting her as she transitions into what insiders are calling her reclamation era. At 68, Kris is not slowing down. She's diving deeper into her role as a producer and business mogul, reasserting control over every aspect of her brand and legacy. In fact, close friends say she's already booked several speaking engagements and brand meetings solo, without Kourtney by her side, and is feeling energized and independent for the first time in years. Interestingly, sources say this breakup may even become a major story arc in the upcoming season of The Kardashians on Hulu. While Kris is known for keeping certain emotions tightly guarded, this time may be different. With the show continuing to lean into deeper personal storytelling, producers are reportedly encouraging Kris to share more of her truth about what really led to the end of the relationship. Early reports say there's already footage of her breaking the news to Kim and Khloé on camera, in a scene said to be raw, emotional, and surprisingly honest. As for Kourtney, he has kept a low profile since the news broke, avoiding public appearances and staying silent on social media, unusual for someone who once attended nearly every major family event. Some speculate that Kourtney is quietly preparing his own side of the story, possibly through an interview or tell-all book, although nothing has been confirmed. Jenner, who's reportedly reached out to offer support despite their complicated history. While a romantic reunion between Kris and Kourtney seems highly unlikely at this point, sources say the two have agreed to remain civil, especially because of the many professional relationships they built over the years. But make no mistake, this is not a "we're taking a break" situation. Kris is said to be fully done and ready to embrace the next chapter of her life on her own terms. The breakup has sparked a wider conversation online about age, autonomy, and the pressures women face in long-term relationships, especially those in the public eye. Fans have praised Kris for setting boundaries and choosing herself, with many calling her decision empowering and inspiring. Some viewers have even taken to social media to share their own stories of walking away from relationships that no longer served them, using the hashtag #KrisJennerEra to show solidarity. It's clear that Kris's bold move has struck a chord far beyond reality TV. As this story continues to evolve, all eyes will be on how Kris reinvents herself in this next phase. Will she return to the dating scene? Will Kourtney re-emerge with his version of events? And how will this decision reshape the Kardashian empire? One thing's for certain, Kris Jenner may be closing a chapter, but she's far from finished. Make sure you subscribe to Celeb Buzz and turn on those notifications, because we'll be tracking every development, exclusive detail, and behind-the-scenes twist as it happens. Let us know in the comments, do you think Kris made the right call? And are you surprised this love story ended the way it did? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, and stay tuned for more drama, revelations, and Hollywood bombshells, only here on Celeb Buzz.